What's up, Meshbuka? Welcome back to another episode of Married to Reality. It's the Jewish Matchmaking edition. I'm your co-host, John, here with my wife, co-host and resident Gentile. It's the one and only Teresa right there.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Do you remember now what Gentile is?
No, but I just know it's not genital. What is gentile? Oh, a female?
I told you last episode.
A female?
No.
So what is it?
A non-Jew.
Oh, a non-Jew, you're right.
Non-Jew.
Listen, a lot of information has been thrown at me in the past 24 hours, so you cannot just assume that I remember everything. However, I'll try.
Okay, all right. No, I think this is a good learning experience for a lot of people.
What's a mashbuka?
Meshbuka, that's family.
Oh, okay.
What's up, family? Meshbuka.
Oh.
That's fine. It's Yiddish. These are all Yiddish words, although Gentile is not.
So is Yiddish different from Hebrew?
Yes. Yeah,
What's the
Yiddish.
difference?
That's a good question. Yiddish is it's a specific language for Central Eastern Europeans.
Okay.
Hebrew is the language of Israel.
So when you went to Hebrew school, what language did you speak?
Hebrew.
Okay.
Hebrew.
I mean, I guess Hebrew school. So how do you know Yiddish?
I don't know. I am definitely not the expert on language here, but Yiddish is.
No, you're not.
Yiddish is like a certain dialect.
Oh.
I think
okay.
it's more of a German or an Eastern European dialect.
So is it very different from Hebrew? Is it like Spanish and Portuguese? So you kind of understand some, but you don't? Like Czech and Slovak, you kind of understand some, but you don't?
I don't know really any Hebrew and just very little Yiddish because it's fun. But yes, Yiddish has a lot of Hebrew words.
Okay.
But I don't know where the difference starts and where it ends.
All right.
But it's definitely different.
I think I should have asked you about it on episode 1. Well,
Yeah.
a lot's been happening, guys. So we're episode 3. Now I'm asking what ashbuka. Is it ashbuka?
Meshbuka.
Mashbuka, thank you.
You
Mashbuka
are.
is.
Yes.
And you're my mashbuka.
Yeah, we are family. We are Meshbuka, and we're all Meshbuka here. We're all family. We're all in this together. That's what we like to think about when we do this podcast. We're all in this together. And so, if you guys have questions or if you guys have answers, call in, message us on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod.
Yeah, and we have, I'm sure we have a lot of friends who are Jewish who listen to us, but we have one specific friend, I don't want to call out names, but she always messages us asking like what John thinks about this and that.
Oh yeah, and wishes us the happy Jewish holidays.
Yeah, and I love it, so I hope that she will enjoy this pod. And hey, if you know anything we don't or John doesn't, then please let us know as you always do.
Yeah, call in. We love when you guys call in. All right. So yeah, that's a little housekeeping at Married to Reality Pod on Instagram, patreon.com/Married to Reality for Love and Paradise. But we're not here to get into all the nitty gritty of the laundry.
True, but we should still do some washing.
All right. Well, let's
finish washing the laundry. Just a quick cycle.
Let's finish the cycle then. Yeah, you can follow the podcast, and we suggest you do because of things like this. Once in a while, yeah, we drop special bonus episodes, and if you're not following the podcast, well, you're late to the game.
Yeah.
So it's easy to follow the podcast. You just look down and smash that follow button.
Guys, you smash it like it's as hard as Cindy's first date.
Woo!
Not the guy, the place. I loved the place. I loved that they went to a gallery, and I thought like, well, that's a great idea for a first date.
Okay, well, now I want to jump into the show. So then just very quickly, if you haven't left a review, please do. We love when you guys leave reviews. All right, yes, Cindy, episode 3. It opens with Cindy. We do get clarification. She's in Israel.
Yes, so she lives in Jerusalem, but she's in Tel Aviv right now for her first date with Daniel.
Yes.
The old 34-year-old guy.
Yeah, and they're at a gallery. And I agree. This is a great first date place. We went to a museum on our second date. And I hold them in the same regard because you can learn a lot about a person by how they react to art, how they react to history, how they react to something new if they've never been. And you learn a lot about Daniel here.
Yes, and first thing you learn is that it was Cindy's idea because Daniel does not appreciate art. He doesn't get art. He doesn't like art. And for me, someone who loves art, that would be a big no-no because one of my favorite things to do when we travel is to go to local galleries and museums. Luckily, my significant other and my equally great half, Jonathan over here,
I'm not your better half. How dare you?
Listen, equality. We both wear pants. What do you always say?
We share the pants.
We share the pants. So why would you be my better half?
Okay.
You're my equally awesome half.
Fair enough. Yeah, Daniel.
2023, John.
Daniel, and not to occupation shame, but he's an engineer. And I just think that's classic engineer where you have the left brain and the right brain. And I feel like engineers are probably more right-brained. Left-brained. Yeah.
Which one is the creative side?
The right side, the right brain.
Are you sure?
Yeah. So engineers are more left-brained, and that's great. We need engineers, and engineers can do things that we cannot do with that left brain. But yeah, I don't think it's that big of a surprise that he just wasn't understanding the art.
Well, what would bother me personally would be like, I get it. Not everyone understands art. I also feel like understanding art is very, very personal because it's art. But not appreciating it, well, I mean, you can appreciate something that you don't understand.
Oh, absolutely. I almost appreciate things more that I don't understand because it's something new and you have to sit there and think, oh, wait, what does this mean? What was the artist thinking or trying to convey with this painting? But I at least appreciated that he was open with his misunderstanding. Yeah. I don't like when people fake.
True.
That's even worse. You go to a museum and you pretend to understand or you pretend to know all about the art. If you don't know and you don't get it and you don't care, I'd rather you be authentically you and just be like, doesn't do it for me.
True.
And that's me at 80% of museums. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't like it. Like modern art stinks.
Oh, that depends what it is, but I don't get it, but appreciate it is one.
Yeah.
I don't get it. This sucks. I could not deal with.
Completely. So this was kind of drying Cindy up in the nether regions. She was not getting the butterflies.
No, I'm not getting the butterflies from him either. And I'm not even talking about the way he looks, which I don't want to be rude, but Daniel looks like a nice dude, but I don't see a six-pack.
No.
And no six-pack, no Cindy. Wasn't that one of her requirements?
It may have been. She actually thought he looked better in person. I thought his photo was a better representation than him in person, but that could have just been his attitude at the museum. Yeah,
and so no butterflies for Cindy so far, but they go to lunch afterwards and they keep chatting. Mm-hmm. And for Cindy, like, she didn't even want to date anyone from Tel Aviv because apparently guys from Tel Aviv are fuckboys. It almost sounds like the New York City of Israel.
Ooh, yeah.
Because like that's what a lot of people think about guys living in New York. It's like, they're just out there to have fun.
Okay.
Which is what she said about guys from Tel Aviv. But because of this process, her mind is open. And so she's still in this.
Okay. All right. They have a more serious conversation about kids and family.
I guess she did not get a pep talk from Aleeza.
No one is abiding by these rules.
Well, Cindy has her own rules because Cindy goes by this rule. I like to scare guys on the first date. So if anything, they don't waste my time. If they need to run, they should run on the first date.
Yes. They bring up the timeline though about kids and family. His timeline is pretty quick with marriage in 1 to 2 years, right? So he doesn't scream Tel Avivian fuckboy.
No, he does not. And Cindy starts to like him a little bit. Still not her type, but his answer to her questions are not bad. Like, she likes it.
Except the fact he doesn't wear the tefillin.
I was just going to ask you about it.
Right? He doesn't wear the tefillin, which for those unfamiliar, you may have seen them around the little boxes.
I've never seen them.
Yes, you've seen them. When we've strolled through Williamsburg and watched those documentaries.
Well, and you were also telling me not to stare.
I said, do not stare. Yeah, you were admiring those fox fur hats.
Yeah,
Very
we
pricey.
walked through the Hasidic Jewish community in Brooklyn, and I feel like that was the first time I truly felt like I'm at a place I should not be. Not in a bad way. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm scared, but like you didn't belong there. We didn't belong there.
Yeah,
you more so than me, but
I belonged, all right. No, they're. I don't know if they're the most welcoming of outsiders.
no.
Again,
judging based on a lot of documentaries John and I watched on the Hasidic Jews community, because I find it very interesting. It's almost like this small country within New York City.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They do their own thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the tefillin, Cindy finds very hot.
So I've realized what it is, I got a better idea when we meet Noah, because you put it on your head.
You put it all around, you wrap it. Like, I think this is why she finds it hot. It's almost like bondage adjacent, because it's leather. It's like leather straps, and you're wrapping around.
Why don't you do
want
that?
me to?
Oh, maybe.
All right.
Bring those cubes home.
Maybe. But yeah, you saw him with Noah. Yeah, they're common practice, I think, with more Orthodox, conservative Jews. But yes, Daniel doesn't wear them, which it's a shame, because Cindy likes it. But they end up bonding over something else, their necklaces.
Yes.
Which are mementos from their grandparents.
I liked it.
Yeah, so it was a moment where Cindy warmed up to Daniel, and
well, a little bit. It got a little better than the gallery date, but she needs to see. And so we go to another date, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it first seems like maybe Cindy's waiting for a friend or something, because she got to this lovely restaurant, ordered a drink, and she's waiting. And we found out she's waiting for Daniel, who's late. Mm-hmm. And so she's waiting and complains to the camera saying, hey, I woke up early to be here. I don't like when people waste my time. So even if he shows up, which we'll find out on the next episode, hopefully, it's not a good start of the date.
No, this is Cindy's biggest fear coming true, which is Tel Avivian fuckboys, Tel Avivian flakes.
Yeah.
And yeah, is she being stood up or not?
Yeah, I am not the most punctual person. I can be if I want to be, but I also always have to make a decision whether I can or cannot be late. And if I can, I usually am. Mm-hmm. But if I care about someone, or like our first couple of dates, I would not be late unless something really bad happened or good happened. Something happened that would stop me from making it on time.
Yeah.
And I would keep you posted.
Yeah, I think that's the most important part is we live in 2023.
Yeah.
You have a cell phone. Keep me posted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's see what happens.
See.
Until we get to that answer, we have Danny.
Yes.
Who is FaceTiming Aleeza.
Yes.
Checking in on how the dates with David went.
Yeah, so they've been on 3 dates total. They did the lunch, the jet skiing, and I guess another one.
Well, I think the other date was they met up. They went to David's Sephardic club.
Oh, you're right.
It was like the Torah reading date. And so it's been good. They have a good time together.
Yeah.
Danny says, and David calls her a bunch. But there's one concern.
Yeah. David keeps telling her that she looks Sephardic and keeps talking about Sephardic, and she's afraid that that's what he's looking for, and that's what she's not.
Right. And so there's definitely some questions and concerns as to whether or not this is going to work. And then on top of that, Danny's got to go to LA next week. David's going to New York. So there's going to be some time apart. And I think you hear that and you go, okay, well, she's going to LA, for like a week? Why don't they just hang out next week? Well, because she's going to LA for a friend's wedding, and that requires her to go to LA for 1.5 months.
What do you do?
What are we doing here, folks? You're just going 1.5 months.
I went to New York 10 days or like a week before our wedding to meet my parents.
For your wedding.
Yeah, for my wedding.
Not for her friend's wedding. A month and a half. I mean, let's not forget, this is the girl that trotted into her bat mitzvah on a white horse. So she is extra.
I mean, she has her own company, so I guess she can do whatever she wants.
That's true. And if she said, I'm going to LA for a month and a half to work remotely, I'd be like, okay, what do you have to do for a month and a half for this wedding? She didn't even say like, I'm the maid of honor.
Yeah.
The wedding. I'm the event planner. She's like, that's my friend. I'm going to go for a month and a half.
I don't know, but she's not going to waste her time.
No.
Even though, so Aleeza suggests her and David take a break. Let's just take a break and see when you guys come back to Miami. Let's see if you reconnect or not.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, well, I have a guy for you who is the male version of you.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what anyone's really looking for.
No.
I think maybe on paper you go, I want someone like me who likes the same things and eats the same things. And it's like,
you don't.
You don't.
Partially. So it's like, I appreciated you like a lot of things I like, but you also introduced me to a lot of things I didn't know about, the other way around. But I think that I'm calmer in certain things than you, and you're calmer too. So like if there is an argument or something, if we both had the same personalities, we would never stop. Right? If there is a problem to be solved, if we both had the same view on things, then what is the fun in that? We would agree on everything on this podcast, which we don't.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
I can understand wanting to be with someone who doesn't cause friction with your lifestyle. Like if you're kosher and someone's not kosher, like, okay, that could cause friction. That could be difficult in the house.
Yeah.
Or if you love traveling and someone doesn't love traveling, fine. But the minutia that Danny is looking for similarities is ridiculous. Like, we both have to have great eyebrows.
Yeah, I don't know how. I think she's exaggerating a little bit because at the end of the day, you can go have them trimmed, have them styled, and you're going to have great eyebrows. So that should not be like, that must be it.
I think that's it for her. She has an Instagram account about her eyebrows.
Her eyebrows.
Okay. And we meet this guy who she's being paired up with, Sean, who is very into his eyebrows.
Yeah, he trims them.
He doesn't trim them.
No, what's
he
the
gets
word?
them threaded.
Threaded, yes. Well, they trim them too.
I don't know what threading is. Doesn't make any sense to
me. They shape them and they clean them up.
Okay, that's a lot, I think. I'm down for a tweeze here and there, a pluck here and there, but Sean's like, oh, wait, how often do you get your eyebrows threaded? Oh, I got to step up my threading game.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for, Danny?
Maybe she is. But anyways, they're grabbing some ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And Aleeza's very hopeful. She finds him very hot, beautiful eyes and beautiful eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
Not better than hers, which is what she's looking for.
Yeah. And they connect over the fact that they're both South African.
Yes.
So they play Jewish geography, which is a fun game to play because, yes, in the religion, it's a very tiny religion. So it's like 6 degrees of separation. And it's not always easy to find someone you're related to, but it's easier to find someone who you know, right? Friends of the family or went to temple together, right? Because it's such a tight-knit community that it's fun to see who do you have in common, who do you know.
For sure. I don't know if I ever told you, look, 10 years ago or so, my dad loves Facebook, guys. It's ridiculous. But he just put his last name in a Facebook search and he friended everyone that came back. Because our last name is not as common.
Okay.
So there was not a lot of results, but whoever he found, he friended.
Okay.
And then they were talking and they found out that we're all related.
I would imagine.
Yeah, to a certain level. And we found out one of a famous Czech news guys is like a second cousin. And my dad got a kick out of it. He loved it so much. So I almost feel like this is the same thing, but like they talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. So they play the game, and Danny says, "Give me some last names. What are the surnames in your family?" And Sean, He's too worried about his eyebrows and not about the important things. He doesn't even know his mom's maiden name.
Well, I think he paused if he wanted to share, because I would pause too. Do I want to share that on international TV?
Yes.
Why not? I mean, why yes?
Why not? They're sharing their first and last names every time we...
They don't.
Yeah, every time we get introduced, they say the first and last name.
Really? I didn't pick up on anyone's last name.
Yeah. And again, maiden name, you can't track anything down to maiden name, really. You could track down to your current surname, but...
Yeah, but still, I don't know. I almost felt like he paused if he wanted to go there, and then he did.
No, he ends up throwing out his cousin. He's like, oh, you know Kevin Mand? And she's like, oh, yeah.
No. That's not what happened.
I was getting through the game faster. He ends up throwing out Mand.
Yeah.
And then Danny's like, oh, I know a Kevin Mand. And he's like, yeah, that's my cousin. And she's like, oh, I met him at Africa Burn, which I looked up. It's like a regional Burning Man in South Africa.
Nice.
So that's a connection right there, which makes things a little more familial, which is nice and comforting. And then they bond over hair and how she has a balayage.
Yeah, I hate balayage. You remember when that stupid salon burned my hair, so you had to baby shampoo and brush my hair for months?
Yeah, that was balayage.
That was a really fucked up balayage. That's why I don't do it anymore.
Yeah. So far so good with these two.
Yeah, so far I like Sean, but I think he lives in Hawaii. He didn't specify, but he's have to go back to Hawaii and doing long distance relationship. I mean, Miami to Hawaii. Potato. I mean, that's different. That's like potato and potato chips. Different.
That's even too similar.
Potato and a mandarin.
Yeah, even too similar. It's like potato in Hawaii, almost.
Okay.
Let's go to the next.
Okay, let's go to the one that I truly, truly dislike. And I think he thinks he's a catch, but he's not. We're talking about Ori.
Ori, who is brunching with all of his buds, spilling the Manischewitz about his date with Adi.
And he said, well, I wasn't attracted to her. She wasn't for me. And the way he talks about women and what he's looking for, it's like, you don't want to be married. You want to have someone you can show off around.
He wants a trophy wife.
Yeah, but trophy wife for what? Dude, you are 100% dependent on your parents. At 31, you live with them, you work for them. If they cut you off, you're living on the street because you have nothing else going on for you.
Yeah, no, I think he's very shallow. He's very superficial.
But he's not good looking. Oh my God.
He's not bad looking.
He's too skinny.
Okay, that's...
His teeth are not good.
All right, I'll take it easy. I think he's average to above average.
Oh no, he's below average.
Okay, that's your opinion, and I'm entitled to mine.
And for me, it's even worse because of his personality. I always look at personalities. I cannot just look at your looks.
Okay.
And he's just not good, and he expects a supermodel who is gonna be there for him so he can show her off around to all his friends, and that's all he needs. That's literally all he wants.
I agree. I think he's looking for a trophy wife right now. He's not really looking for a wife. It's more of the trophy in the equation.
Yeah, someone who can live with his parents because that's what he does.
Yeah. I think maybe in a way he wants to check off all the boxes, and his friends go, yeah, you're an amazing guy, but you can't expect the girl to check off every single box. But he wants this unattainable because maybe he does feel a little down on himself. Maybe it's false confidence. He lives with his parents. His parents give him his job. So what self-worth does he have? Everything he's got has been given to him by his parents. So maybe he's like, well, at least if I find this amazing woman, that's something I can be proud of.
If anything, he can move out of his parents' house and you work for them. You must be making some money.
That's the funny thing is, and I'm sure he is, but if he wasn't making enough to live on his own, then that's some weird control that his parents have. Like, we're not going to pay you enough to be able to move out. But I'm sure he does.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he does too. And his friends are telling him, maybe it's okay if she's not exactly your type as long as what's on the inside checks. He goes like, oh, no. She must be beautiful. I'm not going to compromise on that.
Yeah.
And that's such an asshole thing to say. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay. All right.
Well, he's gonna meet with Aleeza, and I think Aleeza feels the way I feel, but he's her client, and she just needs to try her best.
Yeah. So that's all we had for them for this episode.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna meet with Aleeza, and Aleeza said she has someone for him.
Right.
But first she showed him a few very good looking females.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, no, not attractive. It's like, are you kidding me? That's so bad.
Well, stop, because you're allowed to have an opinion on appearance.
Yes, but that's all you need. He literally said, he goes like, all I need is for her to be attractive. Like she can be.
No, I know that's ridiculous, but he's allowed to look at photos and say, I'm not attracted to this person.
Yes, but
I think he was wrong. I would have gone with B. He went with C. I thought B was more attractive, but he's allowed to not be attracted to people. Just like you're not attracted to him, he's allowed to not be attracted to people.
100%. But if your dating is so bad that you have to go to a matchmaker because you couldn't meet anyone naturally, including all the apps out there, right?
Yeah.
Because you're so picky, then maybe don't be that picky. Let the matchmaker help you. Maybe she'll show you these women because they have a big potential.
I think you're right. But when someone's showing you a picture, you're allowed to have a gut reaction.
True, but his reaction is just not bueno. Anyways, we'll see what's gonna happen next time.
All right. Next up is one of my favorites, Harmony.
All right.
Harmony's with her mom, Sharon.
In Delray Beach.
And Aleeza. Shout out to Delray Beach. Been there recently.
Yeah.
They're meeting to go over the date with Aaron. And Sharon, Mother Sharon, says, well, if Harmony wasn't feeling Aaron, then I have to support that. As a mom, I'm going to support what she wants. And we learn, and it's no surprise, she was attracted to his intellect.
Yeah.
His conversation, but not physically. Aaron is not Harmony's guy physically. She's not feeling that burn.
Yeah. And for her, she goes like, I just need Aleeza to find me someone I want to bang. Which I know she's kind of joking, but at the same time, I get it, you need to be attracted. But as we saw on maps many times, attraction can grow.
Yeah, but this is basically the same thing that Ori is saying.
Yes, but she at least gives people a shot. She goes out on these dates.
Ori went out on 2 dates.
Yeah, and
with
how
Adi.
rude was he?
Yeah, but I think he's just awkward, uncomfortable. He lives with his parents. He doesn't know how to socially interact with people.
What are you talking about? He said he meets his friends at least once a week. Super important. He loves going out. He loves the social life.
That's an echo chamber. They sit around, they drink their mimosas, and they all have probably the same personality, and they just reconfirm that this is the personality that is going to get me by in life. I think he's a little socially awkward. I don't think he's fully polished
because he has nothing to offer.
Okay.
Unless you are into, I want to marry a mama's boy.
Look, I think you're being unfairly hard on him.
Am I?
Yes. For one, I don't think he's a bad looking guy. So I think he's offering some looks to certain people. 2, you can't shit on someone for working for their parents.
Oh no, I'm not shitting on the work.
So he has a job and he makes a salary. The one thing I will get on his case about is living with his family.
That's my point.
But you're sitting there going, he has nothing to offer.
Yeah, because
I think he's a decent looking guy who has a job.
I look at it as a package. If you separate all these, like let's say if he has a great job or he lives on his own or even have a roommate or 2, I don't care.
Okay.
But you work hard and then the looks will be like, but the personality is great. I'll be like, what a catch.
Okay.
But if you put all these together, like he's not that good looking, his personality sucks, he lives with his parents that he also works for. What's there? What does he have going on for himself? I'm serious.
I'm not going to defend him till I'm out of breath, but I'm telling you, he's got just as many pros as he does cons.
Ooh,
You're
no.
talking like he's got 0 pros. He has a job. He has a decent head on his shoulders. He's not a troll. He's an
asshole.
I don't even think he's an asshole. I think he's awkward and makes bad jokes, but I don't think he's like rude to your face.
Oh, he was rude to Adi's face.
When he said you're simple. Yeah, when he said you're simple, that's not great. I don't know. I don't think he's the number one catch. But
no, he's not. But it's like, all I'm saying is that if you put all this together, then that's why I'm saying he has nothing going on for himself.
Okay, I disagree with you, but you're entitled.
That's perfectly
You're entitled
fine.
to your opinion.
Everyone on this show.
So you think there are people who couldn't get worse than him?
What do you mean?
You're saying he's got nothing going on for himself.
No.
So you're saying he's bottom of the barrel. You're saying there could be no one below.
Oh, on this show right now, he's the bottom of the barrel.
Okay, I'll give you that. I think he's one of the, if not the worst single on this show. Yes, but I'm saying in the grand scheme of things in the world, he's not the worst.
No, but I'm not talking about the world. I'm talking about this show.
All right, if that's your context, then yes.
It is my context. I'm comparing him to everyone else on this show, and every single on this show we've met so far, they have something going on for themselves.
Okay.
And they're open-minded. If anything, they're open-minded.
Okay. I don't know why I'm defending Ori so much.
I don't know why you're defending Ori so much.
Because I have to defend my brother because you're being unjustly hard.
Take the Jewish out of this. We said this is a...
I am taking the Jewish out of it. I'm just saying he is a man in the world who is, yes, maybe he's being a little babied by his parents. Oh. Maybe he's made a couple bad jokes, as we all have in our life. And he's holding a job. He's making some money. He's not harming anyone. And there's a lot worse people in the world than this guy. And you're giving him a lot of shit.
Of course there are worse people in the world. There are people who murder people.
Okay.
I'm not comparing him to the world, but let me put it in a perspective for you, right?
Yeah.
I met you. Mm-hmm. You look the way you look. You're very handsome, so it's a little different. But let's say I met you. And when I met you, I was working my ass off. I worked like 3 or 4 jobs trying to finish school. And you told me like, yeah, like I live with my parents and I work for my parents and I'm very picky and I love that you're so simple. That would not be a second date. That would not be a second date.
Okay.
And you're very good looking.
Okay.
But it still would not make me go out with you again.
All right.
Does it make sense what I just said?
I want to, and I can't speak from experience here, but I want to take out the fact that he lives with his parents. I want to remove that from the argument because look at so many of these singles. They live with their parents, or at least I'm thinking Faye lives with her.
But that's a little
parents.
Well, at least she is Orthodox. I think there is a little different. There is a little different dynamic there. I think she lives with her parents until she meets her husband.
Yes.
But she has her own business. There is something she's doing for herself. She has a passion.
All right. We got to get back to Harmony, who is looking for love and brings something to the table, I think. Aleeza, they're all at a restaurant, and Aleeza enlists the help of the restaurant manager. Aleeza says, she's not claiming exclusivity when it comes to finding love for these people. She's open to finding love wherever she can find it. And so she asked the restaurant manager, hey, any potentials for Harmony? As Aleeza says, you open your mouth and the world gets smaller.
Yeah.
And so, yes. I think there is going to be a potential.
Well, we'll see.
From that. And then?
Let's meet Noah. We mentioned Noah earlier. Noah is a new single on the show. He lives in one of our favorite cities, Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Yes. He's very into the outdoors.
Yes.
Even though I'm in the indoors right now. That's what he says. He has a serial killer living room, which is just going to put it out there.
Why?
He's got a nice living room with 2 leather chairs in it and nothing else. No sofa, no coffee table.
He's a single dude who loves the outdoors. Mm-hmm. I think he is home when he needs to sleep and do work.
As most serial killers do.
That's very true. He's an investment advisor. I don't see him as a serial killer. He has a swell dog, Max.
Swell dog.
Husky.
Yes. He loves to hike and bike and ski.
And snowboard.
It's easy to hide the bodies out there when you're hiking and biking.
All right. All right.
No, I don't think he seems nice. Maybe a little socially awkward himself, but it was just the living room decor that I was like, this is questionable.
That was the living room decor of a single guy with no taste.
Yeah. So we learn about his religiousness, his religiosity.
His level of religious.
Yeah. He says it's been a pendulum. He grew up very religious. Then he rebelled in high school. Then he got super religious again. And then ended up now somewhere in between.
Yeah. So we have Aleeza, who she came over. She's very excited about dog sledding, which I would love to do too.
Mm-hmm.
But then they start talking about his upbringing. And so he tells her that he grew up very traditional, Orthodox, and he went through yeshiva army in Israel.
So he went to yeshiva first.
Yeah.
Which is a rabbinical school. Like,
Okay.
I don't know if he thought he was going to be a rabbi, but he went to yeshiva. And then, yes, he spent time in the army in Israel. Ended
6 years.
Ended up staying, for 6 years. He got married in Israel.
At 21.
But then ultimately got divorced.
Yes, because they only dated for 3 months.
Super quick.
And she got pregnant immediately. So he also have a son.
Yes. So then we learn a little bit more. We get the rundown about Noah's lifestyle. He keeps a kosher home, which means he has to truck in all of his meat from Colorado because there's not a kosher supermarket in Jackson Hole. There's not even a synagogue in Jackson Hole.
Yes.
So he's got to truck in the meat. We learn he observes Shabbat, and he considers himself more flexodox. So not Orthodox, not Reformed.
Observes mean he doesn't keep it every week, right?
No, that means he does. When you observe something, it means you do.
I felt like he said he doesn't. He does, but doesn't. Like
I think that may be the flexodox thing, where he's somewhere in between the Orthodox and the Reformed. So maybe you can count on him every week for Shabbat dinner, but more than not, he'll be there.
That was my question. When you are strictly kosher, when you are an Orthodox and you live that lifestyle, if you go out, where do you eat?
Well, so a lot of these people, and I think Noah is this way, they say they keep a kosher home.
Yeah.
Which means in their home, they're kosher. But when they go out to a restaurant or where else, a friend's house, they don't have to be kosher.
So for me, that's almost like it's like cheating. I feel like you need to either be it or don't, right?
Maybe not. I think it's all right. There's, 15 million ways to be Jewish.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of them. And you do what you can.
Oh, 100%. But isn't it like, so he goes out of his way. He drives to Denver or Salt Lake City every 3 months to get meat. But then he goes out down the street and he has a steak and cheese.
Yeah, but maybe I don't think he's having steak and cheese. But maybe he's only going out once a month, right? He's doing what he can.
Got it.
I think you can't fault someone. He's doing what he can. Otherwise, he's
I'm not faulting him. I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah. No, I get that. And then the other thing we learn, Teresa gave so much shit to Ori. I thought Noah would be on our shit list after what we find out about him. He's seen fish 58 times. And Teresa still thinks Ori is the worst on this show.
Listen, I've been to a fish show with you.
Were you really there, though?
Let's not get into the deets.
But
John got these stickers and we were sitting behind them. And it was a wild show. My favorite song they were playing was the Canadian national anthem.
I think they opened with that.
Yeah. Great song.
Yeah.
No, it was definitely, it was a vibe. We could barely see them from the cloud of smoke from marijuana that everyone else was smoking around us.
Yes. We actually did not smoke marijuana.
No, we did not. But we definitely got secondhand smoke in our lungs.
Yeah. That was, not to drag this episode on, but one of my favorite Garrison stories came out of that.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that story?
Yeah.
We went and we go to the fish concert. It was actually Garrison's idea. We're living in New York. Garrison's living in Connecticut, and he just messages me, I think the day before, and said, like, Fish is at MSG. There's tickets available. You want to go? And me being down for almost any concert, I'm like, sure, let's go. Is it cool if I ask Teresa?
They invited me, yeah.
He said, yeah, because we were only dating at the time. And he goes, cool. So he came by himself. He's a married man, but he came by himself.
What do you mean we were all only dating at the time? You go out with your dates?
You do and you don't. It's not mandated.
Okay.
If you're just dating someone, my friends don't know. Is it serious? Is it casual? So I asked.
They don't because they didn't invite me to some weddings.
That's not the point of the story. The point of the story is we go, when you get beers at this Fish concert, they gave you these cool like souvenir mugs.
Yeah, I think you have to pay a couple of dollars extra, but we got it.
We got them. Garrison got it. He loved it. We finished the show. He took the train home. And when he got to the train station, he called his wife, texted his wife to pick him up, but she didn't answer. I guess she had passed out. And so he's like, well, I'll try to get a cab. So then he calls the cab service and the cab's like, yeah, I can be there in an hour. Garrison's like, it's 2 a.m. I'm not going to sit at this train station for an hour. He's like, I'm just going to run. He's a pretty athletic guy. His house is like a few miles from the train station. He's like, I'm just going to run. So he started running, and about halfway into his run, he gets lit up by the cops. The siren starts going, and there's poor Garrison sprinting through his town holding a fish cup from a concert with the cops pulling him over. And somehow he was able to explain, I don't think they tested him or anything, but he was able to explain what happened, and he got a ride home from the cops.
Yeah, I mean, you are allowed to run around drunk. That's not a crime unless you do something.
But just holding a fish souvenir cup at 2 a.m. running through this town in Connecticut. It's kind of funny.
That was a good story.
Anyways, that has nothing to do with this. This is Jewish Matchmaking. That's the end of episode 3.
Yes.
Thank you guys for listening. We hope you guys are enjoying this little bonus, what do you call it when you marathon? It's almost a marathon, right? Follow us on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/Married to Reality. We're doing Love in Paradise over there. Mm-hmm. Make sure you're following the podcast. No matter what we drop, when we drop it, you get it. It's so easy to do. You look down, you smash that follow button.
Guys, smash it like it's heard. Is the next episode because we watched already and we're gonna record next.
All right.
Tune in, guys. Tune in.
Yeah, you guys have to wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, but still, tune in.
All right. And if you like what you're hearing, leave a review, please. All right. We love the love. With that, I've said it all. You've said it all.
I've said it all.
We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye and shalom.